Hey guys, welcome back to releasethecraftin. Priscilla here with another part in my Folio series, my Alice Folio series. I don't have a name for this because it's part of an ongoing collaborative challenge between Audrey at Odds and Ends and Mystic Dawn Art, where they are doing a Go Ask Alice junk journal, or JJ. That's hashtag Go Ask Alice JJ. I should do this properly. Which is like a craft of me while we all make Alice themed projects, and I wanted to join in, but I couldn't join in the full capacity and make like a full journal, but I could make a folio, so we're making a folio together. So last time we did the cover, and we got it covered, but now we have to do the inside of the cover. And there are a couple of things to consider before I start slapping everything down. So all I did was fold this back into action so that we could use it again. And then I cut out a couple of sheets of paper to line the cover with. Those are the words. And this is all one sheet, so I only used one sheet to do this. And so this, my friends, is 2 sheets of 5 3/4 to do the 2 inside big cover pieces, 1 sheet at 4, and then 1 sheet at 3 3/4. So the 4 is the only one that's like the same size as its page, because it's on the little inside bit here between 2 spines, I guess. And then this one is a little bit shorter, so it has the border edge too. But you will notice, or you will as we go, is that there's some spine issues to also tackle. So we're going to tackle those together. And then I decided, because I did the whole black and white thing as the, I don't know, the counterbalance, contrapoint color for these, is that I would then go back and ink them up, even though I was like, I'm not going to ink anything. Now it needs black ink, because now there's no distinction. So we're going to do that. And just add a little black to everything, which I think will be fine. Really quickly. And could I have done this off camera? Yeah. Did I? No. Because I just remembered right now that I wanted it to be inked. So I'm just going to be really quick about it. I'm not trying to do anything crazy here. Although this is such a big piece now that we've stuck everything all together and got it all worked out here. But it's going to frame everything nicely too, so I think that's worth it in the long run. And then there's a couple of things going into this that I want to make sure I am considering. Because first of all, we have to close this because it's doing its own thing, right? So that's got to get its own little closure. I rushed this part of the spine folding process, so it is a little bit cracked. So I'm going a little bit heavier over here to cover up where I cracked the paper. Ooh, don't do that. And then there's the cover piece component for this particular book that I need to sort of do first, so I can stick it on and then stick the fastener to the inside before we put that cover piece in. So I'm going to hope that my ADHD holds on long enough to not glue the paper down to this side, because that's going to bite us in the butt if I do. So we have our little hinge guy, which we made last time. So we got to get him on there before we forget, because it would definitely be like really upsetting if I forgot and then trying to go back and glue it all back in. And I am currently in my living room. My back window is open and there are people outside and they are watching me through my window, which is very upsetting because I was projecting up until a moment ago. They're finally rolling their laundry and stuff away, but like I just looked over and this lady made full-on eye contact with me through the window, which is also very awkward because I have like a, I don't know what you'd call it. I have like a tarp over my, no, it's not like a tarp. It's a sun blocking tarp. It's a tarp. But, you know what I mean? It's not like a full, like blacked out tarp. It's like a mesh tarp to like reduce sunlight through this window because it is sun facing in the summertime in hell. So the only way that you can look into my apartment is through the railing, like the slats in the little railing fence. And that's literally what she was doing, just staring me right down through those. And I live on the second floor too, so like being able to make eye contact with somebody on the second floor is wild. But she looked at me for so long that I knew that we were looking deep into each other's souls. And then I had to stop projecting because I was like, oh, now she's listening. She's listening to me talk to you guys, and it's so weird. Because, like, you know, I don't like being watched on camera, but, like, not in person. That is too much. So, going to have to be a little bit aggressive to get this to fold again. And hopefully I can do it without damaging my paper. Is the only downside to doing paper covers for stuff is that you can split your paper and then you have to think of other ways to cover it, which usually means like slapping a piece of lace on there, but I don't want to slap a piece of lace on here. I just want to very gradually mold this paper into place. And as annoying as it is worth the amount of time to be a little bit more careful instead of just slamming it down and being like, go into the place. But there, so we have our little hinge guy, which we will address at a later point in time. That's just going to be like a little interactive page guy, you know, like another page to open. And then this part, I'm going to cover this like sectionally with something, but not today. So I'm not going to worry about that. I am going to get the little mechanism, which I'm going to do like a policy envelope closure for that. That I'm going to attach to this piece here on the inside. Okay, I had to see. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down because I'm going to do it separately. I would normally like stick it to this page and then stick that down, but I don't want to. But also, I want to show you guys how you could do it if you don't want to glue it to that page. The only reason I don't want to is because when I put the eyelet in, it'll punch a hole. Like I'll have to punch a hole through here, which means I have the back of this showing through, which might not necessarily bother you guys, but for me, it will bother me to have it be a different color, and then I don't want to have to color it. And it's not that like big of a deal, except to me, where it is a big deal, but like, you know, just things to consider. Where does it fold? Folds right there. Ooh, that stuck fast. Okay. Hold on. Well, maybe not nearly as even as I would like it to be, but it'll do, pig. It'll do. Okay, and we can go ahead and cover the inside. Not you. Sorry, I have to remind myself. Because that piece I do need to be inside. Although, I could make that piece now and then just stick it on top. That is also an option. That's actually a pretty good option. Yeah, we'll do that now when I'm thinking about it. So as you can see, there are some gaps here that need to get addressed, and we're going to address them, believe you me. Did I say everything was cut at 5 3/4? I hope I did. Everything was 5 3/4 high, and then this was cut at 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. This was cut by 5 3/4 and 4, and this was cut at 5 3/4 and 3 3/4. And I should have inked them before I stuck them in here, but I didn't do that. So I guess we're only inking the outside. Oh my gosh. I just remembered that I said I was going to. And then I didn't. Okay, yeah, I didn't stick that on the fold. Whee. Okay, so the option to cover up these little gaps between, I could cut them at 5 3/4 and then try to drive myself crazy making sure that I lined all these up evenly. I'm gonna tell you guys I didn't. So I'm just gonna cut them at 6 so that they fit top to bottom and obscure that detail. But let's do the little piece inside before I forget. And then at least this way we can say that we covered up the inside all in the same video. Because I don't know if the little cover piece is going to make it into this one. I didn't need to pull this whole box up here to do that. But I did. And then what I need is a bit of scrap paper. So we can use this. Because we're going to glue that to the front. I do want it to be square. Because it'll help me center it if it is a square. So this was, did I just say 4 1/2? I didn't say anything because it wasn't 4 1/2, it was 4 1/4. So we're going to cut it at 4 1/4. And now we have made smaller scrap. Back to the pile. And then we are going to measure at 2 1/8. I feel like that's too high on this paper, so. And then again at 2 1/8. And then where they bisect is where we're going to punch our hole. Okay, so that's 1. And then the cover is 6 by 6. So we're going to measure to 3. I'll just do this like high. And then again, except for less gracefully, we're going to come in and mark it at 3. And then punch through the little X. Okay, and you might be like, what the heck is going on, Priscilla? And I'm telling you right now, you're just going to have to hang in there and go along for the ride. So we're going to stick our brad in. Just realizing how domed this brad is. It's not my favorite bit. Could I smash it flat? Yes. Yes, I could. Okay. One thing at a time. I'm going to go in here. And then we're going to crack this open. And then this way, when we get our cover piece done, it will spin. Ta-da! So we'll just glue it to the paper, as opposed to waiting to glue the whole element in. I can have this ready and then glue to the paper when I'm ready for my little spinning element, because of course I want it to spin. It's Alice. So what I'm going to do is go take my little mallet, my little craft hammer mallet. It's like a little tiny hammer. Well, it's like that, but I'm going to smash this on my counter. I can't smash it on my craft mat because it's glass. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. It was literally like 2 whacks with a hammer. I don't know if you guys can see the difference, but it knocked the dome out of it. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's no longer domed. There you go. So that was the whole point. Do you have to do that? No. But now I don't have to worry about like there being a weird odd bump when I stick everything down. I mean, it'll still have a little bump in it, but it won't be as out of place. So we can glue the last piece down. Oh, it's not the last piece. The last of these pieces down. I don't know what I got this paper for. Like, this was, I think I bought this paper 2018. let's see, first of all, in addition to being 8 years ago, was a time where I was like just like really getting into paper crafting. So if I saw it at Tuesday morning, it was going in the cart. And I feel like that's one of the cases with this paper where I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. I need it. And it just went right into the basket. That's not even kind of in line with everything else, Priscilla. Pretend. So yeah, I went right into the basket, and which isn't necessarily a bad thing because I do really love this paper. But I had no plan in mind for it. So like I definitely tell you, as a crafter, I have changed my ways. Because I no longer just buy stuff that I like when I see it. Even if I like it, you know, like I try to be like, pump your brakes. Do you have a project for this? And if the answer is, oh no, I don't, then it stays there at the store. Okay, we're gonna address these by cutting out some strips of paper to cover it. So yeah, like I have a handful of paper packs that like I just don't ever see myself using in like a full journal capacity, and I could probably do like that use a paper pad challenge that April did to like knock some of these out and just get rid of them, which I probably should do to clear some space for new paper. But I'm not doing that right now. So at any rate, I have these, which are a Patreon reward. It's like 5 pages, I think, of these cool hand-drawn Alice in Wonderland stage production from like the 1910s. I feel like it was 1913. 1913, 1923, somewhere in that range, okay? They were hand drawing out costume designs, and the costumes are incredible. You can find the full video on YouTube, but if I remember, I will link it to this video, because you can see the actual production that these drawings like showed up in. But this was a Patreon reward a little while back, and on it I included these little strips of extra patterning. Like these little, you know, like washi strip type stuff. So that's what we're going to use today to cover up those gaps. And I may still use the images from this paper kit. I don't know what you would call it. An ephemera kit. I know words. I'm going to cut this to 6. And we're going to cut out this other one. Would have been smarter to cut the extra paper off first. Well, if you hear noises of people talking, that is my neighbor and his family, I think, because it's Easter as I'm recording this, and so they have probably got family coming over to visit him, his whole family. I don't know. I'm not all up in his business like that. I just know that they come visit him with like a bunch of kids every so often. For these ones, though, I am going to ink before I stick them down, because as you can see, I did not perfectly cut these. But also it makes like the pattern look like it belongs in this little strip, as opposed to just sort of terminating uselessly in a nonsense way. Although this is Alice, so we can get away with being a little bit nonsense. I do just want it to look a little more contained. Okay, that's better. And then we'll be able to cover up those gaps that are unsightly. And like, do you have to? No. And you could come back in with like cardstock. Just be like aware that the cardstock is going to add a lot of bulk on the fold of your spines and stuff. So like a little strip of paper like this will not like impact the way that the fold of the spine works, like those mechanisms work. Washi tape would also work pretty well. So yeah, that'll work. And then it goes with our black and white on floral motif here that we got going so far. And like, honestly, you could just leave it like that, because like the hinge is also white, so like having an exposed white edge is not a big deal, but I think it matters to me that it is exposed. But also I just think it looks nice. I've been like, I kind of wish that I had thought of these before, because I could have like covered this hinge and made it match better, but it's okay, it's gonna get covered up anyways. I do have some like zigzag washi tape that I brought out just in case I couldn't find anything. So like I could still come back in and tape this up if I wanted to. It's not that serious. I do just want to make sure it gets into the crease really well. Also, becoming aware that I am lifting up the black ink with my fingers and making it a little bit grungier than I planned, but it's okay. Okay, and I haven't decided what I'm going to put on the front of this little booklet. This part, not the other part. I know what I'm putting on the other part. So I should probably consider that now. Because we might be able to do both sides of the closure if I could figure it out. Although I don't have to do it right now. That's also true too. Okay, I do like that. I do like the way that looks. Something about like black and white and pink just like pops off. I see you lifting. Oh, they're smoking on my beautiful rainy cool afternoon. How dare. Stick. Or not. That's also fine. Okay. And then we begin to reform. I don't think it's going to matter that much. I just wanted to have this rest nicely in here. Dude, I'm putting so much on this. Look at that. See, I tore it because I rushed it. So we're going to cover this up at some point. Because I'm not going to keep inking it. That's not going to help. Since it's already split and we have to cover it up anyways at a different point in time, which might just be with the washi tape. We'll see. I'm just going to smoosh it down now. So that's our little folio, and it is going to be chunky runky, but that's okay. I like a chunky runky. So this part. Let me think. Okay, I made a decision. So we are going to cut another piece of paper. This time at 5 3/4 and 3 3/4. I don't want to cut this whole piece of paper if I don't have to, so I'm not going to. I'm going to cut the 3 3/4 and just have a small sliver. But this is the same color as the lines on the cover and stuff. And so I want to bring some more of that green in. While we are there, it is just going to be backing for what we've got going on. Because I'm going to use the white rabbit. A little drawing here. I like this guy. Although I also like this guy. And maybe I'll use this guy. Both are good. But I don't know. I think this is so fascinating. The way that this was done on brown paper. And then all sketched out so that they could come up with these costume designs. It's just so cool. I want to like specifically travel back in time to watch the production for this. Because like they made these costumes. They made them like big furry costumes, big giant head costumes. All of this stuff. It's just so cool to see. And then, like, you know, this is, like, the set design. And, like, you see it in the actual production, too. Like, this wasn't just, like, concept art. This is how they came up with the final product. And it looks like this, which is crazy. But also, in another life, I could have been a set designer. That would have been so cool. That was, like, the thing when I was in drama in high school. I was okay getting on stage. You know, I didn't care super a lot about it. I just always kind of figured I'd never be the star of the production, so I didn't need to try that hard, because if I'm not the star, what's the point? That's just Leo things. But whatchamacallit, but I got really into like the costume design and set design stuff, so I ended up stage managing a couple of plays as opposed to starring and performing in a couple of plays. I ended up being a stage manager. And I was happy, very happy being the stage manager. I loved it. I got to boss people around. I got to be part of like production and lighting and all that things. I probably had like a future as a theatrical director, a movie person, you know, a movie person, a director, a film director probably was also in the cards for me, and I just skipped on over that to do other things. But yeah, it wouldn't have been wildly unexpected if that's where I went with my chosen career. I went into food instead, because all my first jobs were in food service and stuff like that, so I ended up going that direction. Although for a brief moment I did dabble in going to beauty school to be a makeup artist, and then that fell through, so. But I don't know, I've been a lot of things. I've been a florist, I've been a bartender. That was the end of the list. I've been a cashier, a produce manager, a prep cook, caterer. What am I looking for? Like, I'm looking around and I don't know what I'm looking for. So when in doubt, ink it out. I don't know. So this is going to go here. And I know what you guys are thinking. Oh my god, you're going to cover up all that paper. Yes, I am. It's actually going to be right here. This is the part I'm covering up. Because this, not super cute. I mean, it's fine, but not super cute. Now, super cute. But what it needs is the little policy envelope closing part. And then this also needs that part. So, what's on the back? Oh, it's the little guys. I know. We have scraps. Haha. Oh. Okay. Circle punch. Oh, open it. So I just need the one for this one. Do I want it to be 2 for reinforcement? What function is that for? If it's coming from here, so yeah, might as well double up. Okay, 2 of those. And then on here, I'm going to cut out the 3. That's cool. If I had spaced those a little bit better, that would have been a nice thing to play with. So this one we're going to glue together. And these two we are going to hold together, but not glue together. We are going to get an eyelet. I'm going to use these flowery gold ones. It's so hard with a bandage on your thumb. And if you were my crocodile, where would you be? Huh. Hold on a moment. Okay, apparently when I moved desk, I didn't think I needed my crocodile ever again. Don't ask me why. Okay, so in theory, this is a 1 inch circle. So if I set it to 1/2 inch, it should be in the middle. Theoretically. It is not. It's okay. 1 off. Is it going to bother me? No. Yes. Yes, it is. What did I do with that paper? One moment. Okay. Trying it again. I went up 1 spot on the little dial. That's better. So, the one before 1/2 inch will get you in the center of a 1 inch circle. Make it make sense. So for the 2 green ones, we're going to hold them together, not glue them together. And do the same. Okay. And then you can live here. Ugh. Get away from me. So, this is the one that goes in here, which means I don't know why I put it away. I need more caffeine. That is the problem. I am a sleepy girl. So, what I would like is to stick this here and then have this be where it, right? So I'm going to eyeball what I think is the center, or at least a place that I am happy with, and then mark it out, and hope that my crocodile's little mouth will reach there. Okay, good. Did I punch it with the small side? I did. I was like, why is this hole so small? Try this again. Oh my goodness. I'm going to make this into a couple different parts, and then people can watch me slowly descend into madness. Should ink it. Okay. And then this one has like a pretty flower design. So I'm going to try to keep that upright. And then this side's going to be the receiving side, so I don't have to worry about the string for this one. I just have to worry about getting it to crop dial. But and these flower ones split so ugly. Oh my god. Like they're cute on top, but then they're just like the ugliest in the back. So, ooh, geez. I'm gonna flatten that out so it doesn't do anything funny. Not gonna put these away because I need them again. And then we're gonna glue. And see, on this one, it doesn't matter if there's a hole because there's paper back here, so you can see the color of the paper back here. But if we hadn't done it this way on the other one and just did it through this part, you would just see the white in the background, and that bothers me. And no, I don't know why. Okay. So, we need a good placement here. I haven't even thought about the overall closure for this. I think it'll have to be like a tie around because we're going to have that spinning piece on the front. I mean, I could have it be a lace kind and just stick it to the back here. Because I could back this too. That is also a possibility. Okay, so I won't rule out a tied-in closure. I won't rule it out, but I feel like we're going to have to just do a big tie over. I haven't thought about that far into the future yet. That's cute already. And then I can get like a little sentiment or something going there. I haven't decided. And so for this, we need inks. I don't think it matters that the bottom one has ink on it, but just in case. And then we're going to do this. And before we punch it down, I have a piece of string that is way too long for what I need. But I'm going to stick it in between, like so. And then I'm going to crop it. Maybe. Yes. Squeeze the life out of it. Lock up my crocodile. Nope, that's locked. Unlock. Okay, so there's our piece. Pliers are still here. So I'm gonna fix that ruddy bottom. It's just such a weird thing to say. And then what I'm going to do is pull this up just a little bit so that it's in there. And then slide my scissors inside and cut out a bit. Maybe. Theoretically. Yes. Tuck in. Wrap it around. And then I'm going to glue this to this so that we have a pretty backing. Now, I mean, I could have a little pink back to show through, but I like it all being the same. Samesies, and just in case it is somehow visible. There. But that is how I make it on top without having to worry about that. So if you decide to like add a wrong side. If you decide to add a policy envelope closure after the fact, this would be how you could do it. Because it's going to come out this way. I'm going to glue all over my fingers because I stuck the glue on the bottom. And then this is a nice strong glue. If you do not feel secure in your glue, you could use a stronger option. Just gonna see if we get these in alignment here. Banana. Come on, there we go. And I could do like the back and forth thing, but I'm just gonna do the type where you swivel it under the one. And then I want to leave it a little bit long in case I decide to add a charm. There. Now we have some control over that flap. So that is, I think, going to be all for this particular part. Yes. And then we'll come back. We'll do the rest. Don't worry. We're doing more stuff together. But that's going to be it for me, guys. I appreciate your faces on this one. I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, you guys, happy crafting. Don't forget to go check out Odds and Ends and Mystic Dawn Art and see what they're making. And then follow the hashtag. Go ask Alice JJ and see what everybody else is making for this month of April. Until then, guys, happy crafting and goodbye.